Beast mode, beast mode, beast mode, beast mode. What's good, YouTube? You know who it is. Chris Jones, represent Physiques of Greatness. And as you see from the title, I've been getting a lot of questions about inner pecs. Alright? I'm assuming a lot of you guys are lacking in an inner chest development department. You know what I mean? Before I begin, let me tell you this though, man. There's absolutely no way you can isolate your inner pecs. You cannot isolate the inner portion of your pecs. I'm sorry if the lighting is bad. I have terrible lighting in my house. But there's no absolute way you can target the inner side of your pecs, the inner portion of your pecs. The only way you can hit your pecs is pretty much as if your delts come across the front of your body. You know, you can do it in a pressing motion or you can do it in a flying motion. That's pretty much the only way you can activate the pecs. However, there are different ways, different angles you can hit to make the tension, you know, more powerful in a certain part of the pecs. You know what I mean? A lot of you don't realize this, but yes, the chest is actually one big ass muscle. You have your upper and your lower, of course, you know, your minor and your major. However, it's comprised of a lot of fibers. There's a fuckload of fibers in the pecs. There's a fuckload of fibers in the bicep. You know, people don't realize that. Yes, the pecs is a muscle group, but what makes that muscle group is a fuckload of fibers. That's why professional bodybuilders, I'm not talking about YouTube bodybuilders, I'm talking about the professionals, the guys who travel across the world getting paid to build muscle. They hit their chest in a variety of angles. And what that does is, it hits as many fibers as fucking possible. That's why these pros, they do the bench press. They'll do some flies. You know, they'll do some cable crossovers. They hit their chest from a fuckload of angles to stimulate as many fibers as possible. With that said, if you really want more inner pecs, let's say, I'm pretty sure you've seen people like this. I see people like this all the time. When they'll do like a muscular, you notice they'll have the upper chest hitting the lower chest, but you see the inside and it's kind of flat and underdeveloped. You know what I mean? You want your chest to be completely full. See my chest? It's completely full. I have upper development, I have lower development, my outer development, I have inner development. My shit is completely full. I do have a split down the middle, however that's genetic. A lot of people have a split down the middle, a lot of people don't. Now what you want to do, if you want your inner pecs to be more developed, if you notice they're lagging, you need to probably do more dumbbells. You know what I'm saying? Flat bench, barbell bench, incline barbell bench, those are the bread and butter I feel should be of anybody's chest routine. And the reason why, you can build a fuckload of muscle. You can stimulate the most muscle fibers doing a barbell bench because you're able to use more weight. However, that's only one angle. Now I want you to put your hand in your chest. I tell a lot of my clients to do this. Put your hand in your chest right now, okay? Now pretend you got a bar. You grabbing the bar, you come down, right? And now you come up. You're gonna feel the whole chest contract. Now, I want you to pretend you got a dumbbell. Come down, right? Now come up and in as you will with dumbbells. You know with dumbbells, you come up and you come slightly in. Now come down, now come up and slightly in. You feel that? You're gonna feel a much deeper contraction. That little change in your routine over the years is gonna pack a fuckload more muscle on your inner pecs. You know, same way if you do some flies, same way you do some cable crossovers. Actually, me personally, I've actually changed up my routine a little bit myself. I'm about to show you a clip right now. As you may or may not know, if you follow me on my personal Facebook, I made several statuses about this. I like doing incline dumbbell presses, but for some reason, I cannot really get the swing of the flat dumbbell presses. It feels awkward as fuck for me, and I don't like it. I never liked it, so I don't do it. I've been doing this decline hammer strength machine, which is, in my opinion, just as good as dumbbells. However, you're not gonna get the stabilization benefits, which is the reason why I still use flat bench. Now look at this clip right here. So like I said earlier, You have to play around with the angles if you want to hit as many fibers as possible in the pecs, man. As you see right here, this mimics a dumbbell. As you see, the elbow come back and out, and then it comes up and in. And that's really gonna squeeze the chest from the outside all the way in. Look at my outer chest contracting. You know what I mean? The inside of my pecs is contracting. Now you're not gonna be able to go stupid heavy. See right there, I got my hand on his inner chest. I can feel his inner chest contracting. Like I said, you're not gonna be able to go as heavy because it's not a barbell. That's why I still think you should always use heavy barbell presses if you wanna stimulate as much chest fibers as possible. That's your bread and butter. But if you really wanna stimulate more fibers, the fibers you can't reach through barbells, throw in some oscillation movements, throw in some dumbbells, do shit like this. Experiment with your fucking training. I guarantee you your shit will be looking badass in no time. Now, as you see in that clip right there, the machine comes out on the handle and it comes up and in. It really contracts the inside of the pecs. It contracts the whole pec overall, but that little change in the angle is gonna bring up my inner pecs. So with that said, to answer your question, guys, without talking too long, if you notice you do a most muscular, and you know your inner chest is underdeveloped, you may need to change the angles a little bit. Maybe try throwing in some dumbbells in your routine. If you don't like dumbbells, do some hammer strength machines, the kind of machines that come down, up and in, not the kind that just go, not no chest press machine. That's pretty much the same as a fucking bitch. I'm talking about something that brings your hands inward. You know, try throwing in some cable crossovers. That's gonna bring up your inner pecs, okay? There's no way to isolate it. All you can do is just change up your exercises, change up your angles a little bit to stimulate it more. Well, anyway, I hope that helps you out. Be sure to comment below if you have any more questions or requests. Don't forget to like my shit, comment, subscribe. Holla back at your boy.